Hello, I'm Kimberly Powell, and this is Showbiz Mums, a podcast about mums working in theatre and how they juggle the chaos of parenting plus an 8-show week. We'll cover birth stories, pregnancy and postpartum in the theatre industry, and discuss how to maintain a career whilst having kids, or at least trying to. We'll also open up the conversation of job sharing and why that can be beneficial. So join me as we speak to some amazing theatre parents and get some advice on this pretty niche subject matter, but something I'm really passionate about. This is a quick warning. We do touch on grief at around 14 minutes, so if you need to skip that bit, then please do. Today, I'm speaking to Melissa Jacques. Mel has appeared in many productions such as Chess, Into the Woods, Spend, Spend, Spend and Oliver. In London, you've seen her in Kinky Boots, Mamma Mia, which she dipped in and out of over the course of about 10 years, and she's been in Wicked, the show and the movie, and she took over the role of Margaret New in Everybody's Talking About Jamie. Mel has been on tour the last couple of years with I Should Be So Lucky, and now That's What I Call a Musical, and she's just finished up at the Shaftesbury Theatre in Just for One Day. It's recently been announced that she's appearing in the much-anticipated Redcliffe, all the while raising her 2 girls. So I think I'll have a lot to learn from this conversation, because talk about the juggle and spinning plates. Thank you for joining me today, Mel. How are you doing?
I'm good, yeah. I'm not putting youngsters to bed anymore, which is what I know you were doing. Mine are self-sufficiently showering and putting themselves to bed. So
nice.
It gets better.
Yeah, I look forward to that. And so how are you? Are you in rehearsals already?
No, I'm kind of having a break, if you like. You know, I'm sort of doing the resting. I finished in February, so I finished like over a month ago, and I don't start for another month.
God, you're so busy. It's probably nice for the rest. You know, people say, oh, resting, but like actually.
Yeah, I know. And we should rest and we should do it. But my kids, they're just so busy. In fact, at the moment, I actually do not know how I fitted 8 shows in a week.
Yeah.
Whereas a lot of people are saying the same to me. They're sort of like, how do you even fit it all in? I'm like, oh yeah, fine. But at the moment, they're very busy. They've got a dancing school show. So because I'm available, I'm all in with that. And so I'm volunteering with that, you know, so I'm very involved with that. And just being able to just clean the house,
Yeah.
you know, just like the normal, and cooking dinner and all sitting down to eat dinner together, and you know, sort of, I'm enjoying that. Although I am a nightmare. I'm kind of all of a sudden feel like I was in COVID. I'm a month out. I'm doing little bits and pieces here and there, you know, as a gig or adjudicating a competition or something like that. Anything I'll do, you know, workshops or whatever. But I'm already getting chefy feet. I can't not be busy. I can't not be running around a million times an hour.
Mm-hmm.
And already I'm sort of like, yeah, when do I start? So I am really trying to chill.
Easy
But
said than done.
yeah, I don't find it easy, and I hated COVID for that reason. Until people were sort of saying to me, I remember the great Matt Murray saying to me, listen, we'll never get this time back with kids being at home like this all the time. And I thought, that's absolutely right. However, oh God, I want to go back to work. So it's the balance. And this is what this is all about. It is the balance of knowing that you can, you know, you just got to juggle 2 of them.
Totally.
But I think we're so conditioned, and I have been so busy the past few years that I forget what it's like to just do this bit.
Yeah, absolutely. Right. So take us back then to when you first got pregnant. Were you trying?
Yes, we were. We just moved in this house and from living in a flat. And I remember my dear dad saying to us, oh, well, you know, it's a new house, new baby. I was like, do they? I didn't know that was a thing, but okay. Yeah, no. Anyway, he was right. We literally I remember like we were scraping, like, it's like a romantic movie, a rom-com. We were like scraping wallpaper off and waiting for a pregnancy test, and lo and behold, I was. Yeah. So, and I was at Mamma Mia at the time, and I'd done, like you said in the intro, I have dipped in and out of that show, not for a very long time, but over a time I did. And I'd been back there for the last time that I'd ever been there. And I'd been there about a year, I think. I was the alternate. for Lindsay Haitley at the time.
Oh, wow.
And so I'd done about a year. We'd got the house, and then I sort of think, we're trying for a baby. I think I was 33, 34. I was definitely 34 when I had Annabelle anyway, my first one. And yeah, touch wood, we were very blessed and lucky. We wanted to have a baby, and we got pregnant. So, so I was at Mamma Mia. I was with her, pregnant with her there.
So how did they deal with maternity back then? I say back then. Oi, oi.
So like I'm some old crony, Kimberly. No, I'm joking. No, I know what you mean though, because
Yeah.
actually that would have been 2009, 10,
Okay.
2010.
Yeah.
That show hadn't dealt with much pregnancy. In fact, it's brilliant, both my pregnancy stories on shows, because that show hadn't had that many pregnant people in the
Right.
show. They'd had one person before, and
Oh, bloody hell.
yeah, by that point,
God, you'd think more than that, but yeah.
I know, in a
Mm.
performing company as well.
Mm.
And she tried really hard to get pregnant. And so as soon as she knew that she was like, I wanna come off stage now. I
Yeah.
wanna, I don't wanna kind of risk anything, I think, because
Yeah.
they'd really, really tried hard to have a baby.
Sure.
So I was the second. No, then there was another girl. We were in the same company, so there were two of us in the company at the time.
Oh, wow.
And with me being the alternate, it kind of got to a point where, I mean, I was probably only about 5 months, but one night the creatives came to me and said that when I was in the bedroom scene in the dungarees, and sort of I'd laid back on the bed, and you could see my baby bump, and they were like, I think for maybe other tracks in that show, and I can't remember how they've gone on since then with any of the leading roles, but especially for Donna, I mean, she can't really visibly be pregnant when the dads turn up, because it's like,
Yeah. Yeah.
story and all that. But um, when I went back after maternity leave, there was another friend of mine in there in the show then, and she got pregnant. She was in the ensemble. She covered Tanya, but she just said, change my costume. I'm just going to keep staying in the ensemble. Long story short, I came off stage at 5 months at Mamma
Okay.
Mia, which is
That's all
pretty
right.
early.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's kind of pretty early. Um, and the deal was that Kimmy and I, my other friend, we had come in every day, come to warm up, warm up, do the vocal, which actually is nice because it still keeps you,
Yeah.
in the fold and everything. If we had a full company and swings in the building, we were able to go at the half. If they were down a person with a swing on, they had to stay in the building until swing cut-off time. And then if they were really down and they were down in the booths, because in the old days, Mamma Mia had the booths that was live BBs all the
Yeah.
time.
Yeah.
We'd have to sit and sing in the booths,
Okay.
which actually, when those nights came along, which was very rare, I was chuffed to bits to be able to do that still.
Yeah.
So it was the height of summer as well. Annabelle was born the 31st of July, so it was a lot of very heavily pregnant, hot Southeastern Railway trains going home at with all the commuters, just unbearable. So that was with her. Do you want me to tell you about my second? I'm
Yeah.
sort of leading the
Yeah.
conversation a bit now, but I will do
Absolutely.
that.
Go for it. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
So then with Claudia, which was like 4 years later, I was at Wicked,
Oh, okay.
and I hadn't been there very long. Now, the complete different thing to that show is that they'd had very many pregnant people on that show. And the
Right.
particular seat that I sat in, this particular track, like the midwife that covers
Yeah.
Morrible, that person always tended to get pregnant. It was like, it's that chair, don't sit in that chair. However, within that particular company that I was in then, there were 5 of us.
Wow.
So when I announced that I was pregnant at warm up in the Circle of Love, parish notices, all
Yeah.
that, and it's like everyone just was laughing. Of
Yeah.
course you are,
Yeah.
because
No big
apparently
deal.
everybody is.
Yeah.
Everybody. So Wicked were so used to it
Okay.
from the past. They'd had very many people pregnant in that show. I mean, leading up to that, it probably was only about 8 years old or that by then, 7 or 8 years old. I remember it was the 10th anniversary. You put shows into years
Yeah.
to find out where we were.
Yeah.
But anyway, so we would have we would have a meeting every 2 weeks. Um, company manager, stage manager, MD, resident, associate choreographer. How are you with singing, Mel? Well, the belting's getting a bit hard now because I've got a bit more. Okay, that's absolutely fine. Don't worry about that. What about the routines? I think I need to come out of Witch Hunters now. I'm getting a bit scared of all the props. Absolutely no problem. We'll put a swing on for that.
Wow.
And it was just, yeah, it was amazing. And then I was on stage till 7 months in Wicked, and I remember going in one short day. I was like, yeah, I can't run that fast now. I will wet myself. It's very fast. That little bit at the back, yeah, I can't do that anymore. Okay, fine, I'm gonna take you out of one short day. So I'm singing in the wings, but they're putting the swing on for the tracks for the bits in the show that I'm not able to do.
Yeah.
I mean, when I think about that happening now, who has spare swings anymore in
Oh
shows?
God, I
Who's
know.
got people sitting around because it just doesn't happen anymore
No.
because there's just they always have to be on stage.
Yeah.
Um, and my costumes, I'd sort of say, oh, that's getting a little bit tight now. And I come in the next day and say, oh, Mel, we've adjusted your mob coat or your one short day. And I just, oh, thanks, great. And I sort of have a look and I think I'd be like, where? It's like magic. Because and I know my mum was dressmaker, is a dressmaker. I know how clothes and costumes are made, but I could not work out. There's like magic. There
Wow.
was just like, let it out somewhere. There's no extra piece of fabric. I was like, okay, you've done something, but it fits me better. Thank you very much.
Can't complain. Amazing.
But it was also like, are you comfortable where you sit? Is this, there was a risk assessment done,
Yeah.
especially for that track because it was so notoriously where people would be pregnant. And is your seat comfy enough? Do you need a screen putting round when you get in undressed now? And everything? I mean,
Oh, bloody
stuff I
hell.
didn't really need. I was like,
Yeah.
oh, fine. But yeah, there was a lot of stuff in place there that
That's
time.
good. That's so positive.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
So
So what's the age gap between Annabelle and Claudia?
there is like 3 years, 8 months.
So you were back full time at Wicked when she was about 2?
Mm,
Wow, good for you. How was
yeah.
that? Or was there a
Um,
job before that you did anyway, or was Wicked the first one that you
no,
went
I was
back
at
into?
I was at Mamma Mia after I went back to Mamma Mia when Annabelle was 9 months old, I think. I took the 9 months. In fact, they asked me
Yeah.
to go back earlier if I wanted to because somebody was leaving. My cover was going to do the tour and would I go in? I was like, well, yeah, okay. So she was probably 8 months then when I went back.
Okay.
And then I finished and I remember having about 6 months of just being at home with not working. And then Wicked came up and I was like, when I got the job, when I got Wicked, I was like an excited grad. I screamed the house down. I was so chuffed to finally do that show.
Oh,
Always wanted to do it.
yeah.
And so then I was probably January 2013 is when I started at Wicked and had Claudia the following March. So I did,
Okay.
a fair bit of time in that. But then I took a whole year off with Claudia and went back for, I can't even remember how many months. But yeah, there was a time where at Wicked there and then at Kinky Boots where I had like maybe 5, 6-year-old and a 2-year-old and stuff. When I sort of
Hard.
think about, yeah,
Well, particularly just thinking about you having a toddler and being pregnant and doing a full week of Wicked every week.
yeah. And I was so lucky my train from here goes straight into Victoria because I remember going for my fitting one day and coming out of Victoria Station, getting off the train, thinking, right, where do I need to go? And I looked through this gap in the station and then an exit, and I could see the stage door from the station. I was like, are you kidding me? I'm going to get off the train, walk across the road, and there's my stage door. This is amazing.
Yeah.
And a lot of people, but I remember in those days of just waking up, somebody nudging me going, we're here. And I'd be asleep on the way to work, because I was so tired.
Mm,
And a lot of people say to me, oh, did you love being in Wicked? Mel? Was it amazing? I'm like, yeah, I know I loved it. I know I had a good time, but I actually don't remember much about it
sure.
because I just was so tired the whole time and sort of like casts sort of merge into two. I'm like, oh, I was in it with you. Was I? What? Honestly, it's like a blur for
Blur.
me.
Yeah.
And I lost a great friend as well. I was understudying her And as soon as I went in, she was off and she wasn't well. Then it was cancer, the great Louise Plowright. And
Oh,
so I went in there to understudy her as I'd understudied her at Mamma Mia. And she progressively got unwell and she died while I was doing that job as well as
oh,
having Claudia. So there was like the raising money for Lou, her being poorly, her having the surgery, it was just a melee of things that is like
a
some
blur.
sort of green twinkly blur for me.
Yeah, well, I'm not surprised. I mean, I'm so sorry, Mel, but I think if you put grief in with postpartum and all of that,
Yeah.
it probably was a really weird time.
Yeah. And I have never even really sort of given that any thought, to be honest, until right now. I know grief. I know grief very well now. But back then I didn't really. I'd lost
Hmm.
grandparents and stuff, but I
Yeah,
didn't. And she was older than me. She was probably what, 15 years older than me, Lou? But she was a great friend, you know. And it was just it was so shocking that
yeah,
I actually couldn't get my head around the fact that she wasn't going to actually walk this planet again, you know.
yeah,
And so and actually, but I would have been so occupied with the fact that I was either pregnant or had both of them or whatever. I can't even remember. I couldn't even tell you.
yeah, yeah.
Um, and she died 10 years ago. Yeah, I don't, I don't know. So it was,
Hard.
I had a great time. It's an amazing show. I'm lucky enough to have been on the film. So it is a thing, but it's all a blur to me.
All a blur. Yeah, I'm not surprised. And how were your births? Were they all right?
Yeah, completely different and different how the hospital was on both days. Like the night I went in with, and you know, if with your first, I don't know how you were, but it's like, oh, yep, that's a contraction. Let's get to hospital. Come on, I'm having a baby. Let's go. And they go, yeah, you're about 1 centimeter. I go home. Call us tomorrow. Rolls eyes. You know, like the midwives are like coming in thinking she's in, settled in for the night. So it's like I moved her backwards and forwards, backwards and forwards. And no water was breaking. I was in
Oh,
baths and I was like, obviously do it all again. I literally wouldn't leave this house until I was crying. Do you know what I mean? Like,
yeah, oh, yeah,
it's all hindsight, isn't it?
of
But
course.
like, oh, yeah, a pinch, yeah, here we go. But so that was like, oh, it was ages. It is longer. When it is your first, it's longer. Anyway, it was a hot summer night, and the hospital was packed
Oh,
to the rafters with people having babies. There was nowhere to put me. They
oh,
put me in a bay, in a hospital, in a bay on a ward with prenatal women that
oh,
were in there for like preeclampsia
oh.
and what's the thing where your placenta lays
Like
low.
previa, placenta previa, is it?
That's the one, placenta previa, yeah. Things like that were having to have bed rest, and me contracting in the corner, heavily contracted because there's no delivery suite to put me in,
Oh,
and
shit.
there's not even any gas and air coming out the wall. You know, they have it all.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
No, they're going to have to bring me a little tank on a little trolley.
Oh, mate.
That ran out. So because I was then just on that, and I've never been high before in my life. I've been drunk many times, but I've never been high. So I kind of didn't really understand what I was doing or how how much I was taking. So that ran out, and I was like, "You're gonna have to get me some more. You're gonna have to get me some more." There wasn't any. They couldn't get any food. So remember this midwife coming up to me and going, "I found like this with two paracetamol." She was like, "I've brought you these." I remember thinking, "The hell am I going to do with that?" Like, I was out of control. And my mum came and Harry was rubbing my back every time I was having a contraction. And then he's like, Melissa, I've got to have a break. So my mum came in. My mum's got like a back like a flipping marshmallow. And every time I was like pulling on, she's going, oh my God, Melissa, no. It was mayhem. Anyway, they finally found me a delivery suite. I want to tell you that when they got me in there, wheeled me in there, the floor was literally completely still wet from where they've mopped it, got me in.
Oh,
And then I can't even remember. I'm so out of it, and I regret that. I was kind of out of it, but it was a very normal birth. I think
yeah,
I did. I tore. I remember having to have gas and air to be stitched,
yeah.
and I do. I do remember the craziest thing. Like you just push this baby out on gas and air. No. Oh, I asked for a brain fog
Epidural?
perimenopause. Thank you.
Yeah.
I asked for one. There's no one available. No anaesthetist available.
Brilliant.
Because that's the thing, isn't it, right?
Yeah.
Like, if someone's available, they'll bring it, but if there isn't. So I didn't have one of those. And so I'd given birth, first time ever, with gas and air. And then they sort of, you agree to have the injection to let the
Oh, yeah.
placenta come.
Yeah.
And they said, oh, Melissa, and I'd agreed to have that. Melissa, we're going to just give you that thing that, yeah, fine. I remember them putting it in my thigh and me going, oh, and I thought, why the hell am I smarting at, at
Mhm.
a jab going in my thigh? I've literally just pushed a rugby ball out. Do you know what I mean? It's so weird how your mind,
Mhm.
with the pain receptors, how it just, your body forgets, I guess. And then, oh, sharp scratch. Oh, that hurts. Just pushed the baby out that. And I never ever forget that. Yeah. So that was the first one. And then the second one, we left it a lot longer again because we just knew. And then got in there and I said, oh, and it was quiet. March, spring, Saturday afternoon, nobody about. Yeah, come on in. Have a bed. Oh, okay. Would you like, what did I then take? I took that other drug that's um it's like a drug that will just sort of help with the pain. It's not gas and air, it's not the
Pethidine,
epidural.
is it?
Pethidine, thank you. Very good, yes. Pethidine. Took that. And again, not being high was like, and I wasn't in control of my contractions then. So I just couldn't control them. Hated every minute of that.
Yeah.
Anyway, they said, and I was like, yeah, I'd like an epidural, please. They were like, yep, no problem. Take you through to a delivery suite. Oh, delivery suite there. Like it was chalk and cheese. That first
Yeah.
night was dark, hot, sweaty. Everyone was running around. This is like daffodils, windows wide open, curtains billowing, all peaceful and lovely.
You're in a
And
movie.
then, yeah, I'd like an epidural. Sure, the anaesthetist will be right along. You're like, okay. And he came, and there's that crazy thing, isn't there, when you're having an epidural, that they ask you to hunch over a ball or over something to really push the small of your back out so they
Right.
can get it in there. And they're like, you're going to need to push. And you're like, I have got this huge thing in front of me. And they're like, right, so the small of your back. And I'm like, I know my body. I'm a dancer. Not really a dancer, but I'm sorry, I know what it means. I
Yeah.
know I am a physical performer. So
Uh-huh.
when he said push your small of your back out, I went to class. I know what he's talking about, and I was trying to do it, but I was like, mate, I've got this big, massive. This. I remember thinking, you're asking wild things of pregnant women to do that. There's
Yeah.
this big old thing here, and we've got to try and hunch over to get that small of your back out. Anyway, I had that, and then they said, right, so we'll come back and check on you in 4 hours. I remember going, oh, oh yeah, it slows it down. An epidural,
Oh.
biggest regret of my life. Regretted taking it from that. I was like, oh God. Oh. And then anyway, it went on and progressed. But then as I was getting more and more dilated, I guess, the epidural wore off in my groin. So every time I had a contraction, it was in my groin. I remember like holding on to it like that. Like it wasn't round the front because I got the nerve block going. I don't know where it had yeah, worn off, but yeah, it was just. And then, have you read your notes?
No, I
Have
never
you ever
have.
read?
No.
No, I would love to. I don't know if it might give me PTSD, but I would love to go back and read my notes, especially with Claudia, because there was this one moment where they're like, yeah, I'm going to say now in this moment, it was her heart rate had gone a bit bumpy.
Right.
We need to get you into surgery now. But I couldn't even tell you if that was true. So that was it. Harry's in scrubs. They're wheeling me into surgery. Harry said to me he could see that they were all ready to leave me
Oh.
because they were going to do a little section.
Yeah.
But in the end, I delivered her. But again, the melee of going into that, and I could see they'd put the gurney, my bed,
Oh yeah.
and the gurney, pushed them up together so they could move me onto it. But I could see that my your catheter. Is that no? Yeah. What's this? I
Yeah.
can't remember any words tonight. But the portal, for whatever that is, I could see that the wire had gotten moved in between the two beds. So they were about to lift me and pull me. That was going to get whipped out of my hand.
Absolutely not.
Just crazy out. Everybody stop. I was like, that's going to get whipped out of my hand right now. Oh, yeah, sorry. I'd clocked that was going to
Thank
happen.
God.
So So I'm in stirrups, and they're just going to try one more thing before a section, and they fitted it with the kiwi, like they call it the kiwi. It's not
Oh,
this. It's not the ventouse, but it's like a
oh,
little thing, and she still had the marks on her head. It's
okay.
like they call it a kiwi because I think it's shaped like one,
Right.
and it clicks onto their head, and it's a way of getting baby
Oh,
out.
okay.
Now, the midwife said to me in the end, she went, "You did the work yourself in the end. You got her out yourself." And I was like, "All right." And I thought, she's just saying that to make me feel better.
But I'll take it. I will take it.
Apparently, I did it, but I've got a feeling that you did that. But you're just going to tell me that to make me feel like I did a good job. But my legs were still in stirrups. So they're asking me to push. My bum is not on anything. So I'm pushing and not pressing against anything because I was like lifted because there were, so the sacroiliac joint
Yeah.
pain after that birth, I couldn't walk.
Yeah.
I couldn't walk for about a week. And you know what it's like when you've got a newborn and you're like, again, now I would tell any new mum, stay in bed,
Mm.
be naked, have that naked baby on you. Don't let anybody in. Stay in that bed for 2 weeks and
Yeah.
just do that because society, parents, grandparents make you think like social media. Oh, I said to Harry, I was like, we've got to go out for the walk.
Yeah.
He's like, what walk? I was like, the walk that you do when you've had a baby, the first thing you do, you've got to go out, you've got to push the pram, you've got to go places. He was not into it at all. This was with Annabelle. He was not into it at all. I was like, no, no,
The
yeah, yeah,
walk.
yeah, we've got to do it. Again, I wish I'd just stayed indoors. But with Anna, with Claudia, it was my birthday because
Oh.
she was the 9th, so she just turned 12, and I was the 15th. So it's like less than a week in our birthdays,
Oh, wow.
and it could have been Mother's Day or something. It was
Okay.
lovely. Spring day. Let's go for a walk in Greenwich Park. No, no, no. Yeah, it's good. Look at this. 2 children, a buggy. I was shuffling along like this. Like hunched over.
Oh,
And again, pressure on myself. No, 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 I can do this. I got this. The pressure on yourself to make sure that you're up and out and the
yeah.
house is tidy. Like
It's ridiculous.
it is. And I just did a job with um, someone on Just for One Day,
Mm.
and they were having a baby. And I told their partner, I said, stay in the bed, be naked, get that naked baby on you. And they came in to visit, brought the baby. And I was like, and everyone's making a fuss of, our company member and the baby. And I went to mum and I said, I was like, how are you? Well done. How are you? I said, are you okay? She's like, yeah. She said, I took your advice. I stayed in bed. I was like, I wish somebody had taught me that.
Yeah. I love that for advice. Stay in bed, be naked, and have that naked baby on you. That is
Yeah,
exactly
because
it.
the pressure of the breastfeeding didn't happen for me. I
Okay.
was so stressed with Annabelle because it was like, I've got baby, I've got to breastfeed. I can get a bit like that anyway. I can high expectations for
Yeah.
myself,
Sure.
not in all walks of life, but with some things. I'm like, nope, this is what I should do. I was stressed. She was stressed. We were stressed. He was
Mm.
very stressed about, newborn dad. I think newborn partner. I think sometimes if you're not the person that's delivered and you're the other person, I think there's something there that needs to be acknowledged more. Do you
Yeah.
know what I mean? That they feel like
Connection.
yeah, that they're not providing milk. So
Yeah.
they're not, if they're the one that's not given birth, yeah, there's just too much stress. So I didn't breastfeed Annabelle at all, really. And that was a very, very big thing for me. Took me a
Okay.
very long time to get over that emotionally. Luckily, me and my best friend had our babies at the same time, and two other girls in the industry, and we all used to meet up and have like we weren't in an NCT, but luckily we'd all had kids at the same time. So we'd
Great.
meet up in Greenwich or in Blackheath or something, go for coffee and stuff. And we'd sit round and they'd be like 6, 8 months old. And we'd be talking about feeding or something. I'd still break down. I'd still cry about it.
Oh.
It's sort of like that guilt that I couldn't do it. Whereas the second time round, I was a bit more chill. She latched better, and then I did it. I think I think she still wasn't latching really very well, but I did it for about 4 or 5 months, and then I just was like, because my husband used to work offshore
Oh.
on an oil platform, so he would be gone for 2 weeks.
Oh, bloody hell. What does he do, your husband?
He worked in the oil industry.
Oh, right. Okay. Yeah. God, did see that coming. Right.
Yeah, he doesn't anymore.
Okay.
Could have done with that now. But he'd be gone
Right.
for 2 weeks. So it'd be me and it'd be a toddler and a baby and trying to feed and trying.
Oh,
That's the other thing, isn't it? It's like when you're on your own, you're like, how am I going to put that one to bed? And
yeah.
then got the baby. And I ended up with a little system of being putting the baby on a beanbag. A great friend of mine, put me on one of those baby bean bags that you can sort of like in the doorway of the toddler's bedroom,
Oh, yeah.
putting the toddler bed, reading the milk, and having the system. Because I was just thinking, how I don't know how I'm going to do that bit. And so that got so exhausting. I was like, no, I haven't got time. So I went cold turkey. Ouch. Because
Yeah.
breast is best and it's best for the baby and all that pressure that gets put on you.
Mm,
And I know they have to say that.
yeah.
But with Annabelle I was in hospital for 5 days.
Oh,
She was fine. Neither of us were sick, but because I wasn't feeding her myself, until they'd seen me feed her myself, I couldn't go home. And they taught me how to cup feed her. But even so, when people say, no, just draw the colostrum out. What? I didn't have any. I was like, I don't even know what you're talking about.
yeah.
Um, like, what if I pumped, put my milk in a bottle and see if she would take that? Yeah, let's give it a go. And I know it's because they can't be telling you. It has to come from you, but you sort of think, but I don't know. I'm flailing. I'm a new
Yeah.
mum,
Oh,
and she drained it.
and
She drained the bottle, and within about an hour, they were discharging me. I was like, "Why didn't somebody say that to me 2 days ago?"
yeah.
Crazy, crazy. That's my
Oh.
breastfeeding journey.
Oh, crazy. So when you're at home, two really little ones, when did it come about for you to start to go back, or when did you start to get the itch again?
Yeah, I think so. Annabelle would have been about 2.5, and I was sort of wanting to. I can't even remember, honestly. It's such a blur. And a long time ago. My eldest is nearly 16.
Yeah. Oh, wow. Oh my gosh.
Yeah, she's 16 in July. So we're in GCSE territory today. In fact, I was on the phone to a good mate of mine today. We were Wicked together and Kinky Boots together.
Oh, yeah.
And I've got a bunch of male friends that said that they're going to take her to Freedom on her 18th birthday. It's very hilarious. Going to take Annabelle dancing because they've known this baby, this little
Yeah.
girl. So when I said to him talking today, and I said, "Yeah, I didn't want to go away because Annabelle's taking her GCSEs," he's like, "What?"
How is it going?
I know.
How's teenager life?
Yeah, it's really difficult because I think for you and I probably it was it was a done deal. We knew exactly what we were going to do.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
We
Yeah.
went and they both go to dancing school
Yeah.
and she loves to dance, but she doesn't love to sing and act and do all that.
Hmm.
So it was a done deal for me. I absolutely knew what I was
Yeah.
going to do.
Oh,
I'm going to go. I'm going to do this. I'm going to do performing arts course because I'm not going to do my A levels, and then I'm going to go to drama school. And my brother, the same. My brother was a professional footballer. So
oh,
it's
wow.
exactly what he was going to do. And it was going that way anyway. So when it came to her, like taking her options, not really knowing, and then this post 16 stuff, knowing what to do post 16, she's like, I don't know what I want to do. And you're like, oh. And I found that really difficult to sort of try and get on board, like understand, because I was
Yeah.
like, I did, but it's not the same for everybody. And luckily, Harry was like, I didn't know what I wanted to do. So we've got to a point where, like, listen, for the next 2 years, A level or um, college course or apprenticeship or whatever it is for the next 2 years, you do something you enjoy. Just do something you enjoy.
Great.
And then in those 2 years, and as soon as somebody said that to me and I thought about that, I thought, that takes the pressure off, of course. Just be in education still or an apprenticeship. Anyway, so she's going to do A level dance, or she got accepted on some musical theatre courses, which I was so happy for her.
Brilliant.
So she will do something artistic, I think.
Yeah.
Um, but yeah, the sort of like, and I only said to my best mate today, I thought those early days were hard, but actually this teen tween, because I've got a 12 and a 15-year-old, like
Mm,
the navigating school and life and especially girls as well with
hmm.
friendship groups and stuff. I find in this the hardest part, to be honest.
Yeah, I'm nervous. I
And
am.
I think But I think society may change by the time your children get to that age, because at the moment we've got this whole social media thing, and that will probably get banned by the time.
God, I hope so. I am. The social media thing makes me nervous, I think, but maybe we'll know how to deal with it better by then. But
Yeah, and so many friends of mine, like, don't have the smartphone-less child uh,
smartphone free
life.
childhood.
That's the one. Yeah,
Yeah.
just smartphone. Yeah, that's it.
Yeah.
Where, you know, both mine do have one. And yes, it is like basically giving them a little computer in their pocket.
It's hard not to.
Yeah, it is, because they're busy and they go places, and I need to be able to contact them to
Mm.
say, I know that can be done with a phone. But also when it comes to things like, I didn't let my eldest have Snapchat for a long time,
Mm.
longer than other parents.
Yeah.
But you do cave in the end, because you know that they're on their own then. They haven't got what their pals have
They're
got.
being left out. It's so
Yeah.
hard.
It's so hard. It's so hard because, God, I would love. We had some cyberbullying last week
Oh,
with my
geez.
youngest,
Okay.
and she didn't go into school today because it's ongoing. So this is where I am at the moment.
Okay.
Um, so we've had that, but luckily they're both very open kids.
Okay.
And the youngest, when she got in the car last week and told me about it, and I was just very calmly, right, okay, well, that needs reporting. Oh, don't you worry, I've done it. I went to wellbeing, I've made a statement. So I was like, that's my girl.
Well
She
done.
knows it's wrong. She knows it should be flagged. She's not just going to go under the radar, and then, because that's the worry, isn't it? That they'll just harbor everything,
Mm,
and they'll
hmm.
be upstairs in their room crying, and they don't want to go to school. She didn't want to go to school today, and I was in a way kind of glad, because I thought, yeah, I'm going to phone the school and tell them
Mm.
she doesn't come in today because you need to sort out what's happening,
Yeah.
so, but she's open enough with me to be telling me everything that's happening.
That's it. At least you know
And
about it,
yeah,
you know?
because I just think, God, if you've got a child that's not, and it feels, is too shy or too nervous to speak up, then
Mm.
that's horrendous. So I'm grateful. I'm not grateful she's been bullied, obviously,
Mm-mm.
but I'm grateful that she feels she can talk to both me and Harry about it.
Yeah,
But yeah,
absolutely.
raising teens, I mean, my eldest is, she loves clothes and makeup and stuff, but we're not like lashes and nails. She's usually got a pair of joggers on and a vest because she's
Oh, great.
dancing and stuff. Do you know what I mean?
Nice for them to have seen you and your career, though, throughout the years. I think, do you
Yeah.
think that's why your eldest partly feels like she might want to go into it, or has that whole interest in musical theatre because coming to see you? Did they ever come backstage and things like that?
Oh yeah. Yeah,
Oh, so,
loads, especially on the last few jobs as they've gotten older.
yeah.
So when they were little, they would have one day. And I also think what's really important is to bring them, when they're old enough to realize where they are and remember a place,
Mm.
is to be able to take them in one Saturday, matinee or something, for warm up, take them to your dressing room,
Yeah.
and just be like, this is where mummy goes. So,
Yeah.
when I call FaceTime you because mummy's at work, this is it. This is the
Yeah.
chair that I sit in.
Yeah.
And these are my friends that I talk about. And so that then when they can go away and you then have that FaceTime the next night, they have it in their head of where you are. I think
Totally.
that's really important to do.
Yeah.
Um, so only when they were starting to really understand it, I guess I was doing maybe Jamie or something. But even then, they were kind of too little to. And things have changed so much backstage now. I mean, when I was starting out in the industry, or sort of like, especially my Mamma Mia days, Lindsay Haley would have Meg, who is a big grown-up actress of her own, about to open in Avenue Q. Meg would be in a dressing room on a Saturday because you've got your own room, obviously. Meg would be just sat laid colouring in or doing her homework, and then in the wing watching her mum do the finale. And I remember thinking,
Amazing.
God, I hope I can do that one day.
Mm.
Yeah, well, you can't because you're not allowed backstage, are they? Without, and I get it, it's safeguarding and all that, but up to now, past few years, touching wood, I've had my own room, and it's like, well, this is my space. They're going to be in here. They're not daft kids.
Yeah.
If they heard a fire alarm, they definitely would know where to go and what to do. And this is another thing. They're pretty savvy because they're quite self sufficient, because they kind of had to be. They knew the amount of au pairs I've had, babysitters, daily nannies. That they know now. They're old enough to sort of, like, Harry and I went out for dinner the other night, and
They're fine.
Annabelle can babysit because she's
Yeah.
nearly 16. But the amount of people that have looked after them
Yeah.
over the years and the amount of times I've been away. Um,
Well, that's it. So how do you make it work when you go away? Like, because even in Toronto, I saw you were with Just
yeah,
for one day. Is it just, do you get an au pair or are they a bit old for that now? Or,
they're too old for that now. And I remember sort of saying to Harry, because Harry leaves the house at 4:30, 5:15 in the morning for his job
oh,
now. So he works 6 till 3,
okay.
which actually for the industry is perfect. 'Cause it's kind
Yeah.
of like a tag team thing.
Yeah.
Apart from when you're away and that early morning.
Mm,
So I remember the night before I was leaving for Toronto, I sort of said, "Thank you." And he's like, "What for?" And I was like, "Well, for making this." And the only reason I went to Toronto was because I wanted a year in town.
yeah.
That was the payoff. And it was, you had to go to Toronto to get and it was the payoff for me.
Yeah.
This is what I've wanted for a long time, to be at home and to be working. So, and he said, "Well, if I remember rightly, I said we couldn't make it work, but you just went ahead and did it anyway." Because I'm so I'm so used to it now. I'm like, nope, I will find this childcare. There's going to be somebody around. But anyway, I found a local woman. She was already like a daily nanny for somebody at the primary school, and I needed somebody to come to the house at, what time does she come? 5:30,
Oh, wow.
and be here while the girls got up. And they get themselves dressed now. They get their breakfast. There's no more. I mean, I might make a few pot lunches here and there, or I might make a smoothie or something. But
Yeah.
as much as like the eldest just grabs whatever, and then as soon as they're both at school, that was it. So from like 5:30 till 8:30, it's like 3 hours in the morning.
How funny.
Of
Yeah. Such specific hours.
Yeah, I
Mm,
figured out, and she was retraining to do something else. So she said it's perfect really because I can just be studying in the morning. My husband's at home to take my youngest to school, so it
great.
actually really works, and it was cash for her as well. I mean, it meant I didn't really make any money in Toronto because it was the Canadians taxed us, and I was paying for this expensive
Oh,
childcare here. But I made it work. I found
yeah.
someone that could do that. But yeah, they're very hardened to it, I guess, but in a way that's making them pretty strong kids. Yeah.
Amazing. Resilient. Is it difficult when you say about the cyberbullying thing from like last week and then you being away? Is there ever a disconnect when you're away? Although, I mind you, is it only really Toronto? I mean, you've been on tour, but they can come and see you
No,
on
I
tour
was
'cause
on
it's in the UK.
tour, but that's in the UK. And then I was in LA. Look at
Oh,
me
of
with all the
course.
we went to LA for 5 weeks. But of course, when I went to LA and when I went to Toronto, they came out both times.
Yeah, and
You
also
know,
they're amazing experiences.
LA was 5 weeks, so they came out for February half term. And then Toronto was 9 weeks, which was too long, really. But again, it was this winter, so they came out for half term there.
Great.
Um, so
Fun.
they've had these. Oh, we had an amazing time both times. Harry loved Toronto. He's like, this is one of the best weeks we've ever had. We would never have a snowy holiday like that. Really,
Yeah.
we're not skiers.
Yeah.
He said we'd never have a holiday like this. He's like, I've loved it. It's just been a brilliant break for us. And because they're older now, and going back to what you were initially saying about going into the industry, I think the youngest will. She's kind of a bit more, she's very me. My eldest, again, like I said, she's a bit more God. She will do something, but they love being around it. They love being backstage and they sort of, but not in a kind of stage where it's kind of life for them now, a little bit now.
Yeah. Oh, I bet it is.
Yeah. So when I'd get on that last job, I'd get the offs and with all the swings and they were like, oh no, what's wrong with her? Yeah, her ankle last week. I remember you saying, yeah.
Stop it.
So who's going to be on for her tonight? Have they ever done that before? Yeah. So
That's incredible.
mm,
Dance captain in the
fun.
making.
Yeah,
Yeah.
probably.
Oh, how funny. No,
I
it's good.
know.
It's amazing experience for them as well, I think, just seeing you do it.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, we had a few things a few months ago when we were talking about the post-16 thing with Annabelle and about the industry and stuff. And I remember Claudia, the youngest, saying, "Well, I mean, I guess we have to do it because you've done." I was like, "Whoa, whoa, 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 no!" I said, "Absolutely not. I don't want the girls to think that they've got to go into the industry. Because a lot of parents say to me, would you let them do what you've done?" I'm like, if they want to do it, let them do it. I'm not going to tell them don't do it because sometimes you're really skint and it's crap.
Yeah.
It's like if that's their passion and they want to do it, then of course I'm gonna absolutely let them have a go and possibly succeed.
This is it. No, but we know how good it is when it's good. But I feel like
Yeah,
people often want to be like, oh, God, you're not going to encourage that, are you? And I go, no, 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 God, oh, better not. And actually, I'm like, if they want to do it and they love it,
if they want to do it and it
yeah,
makes them happy, then
yeah,
that's all you can ask for, isn't
yeah,
it?
yeah, absolutely.
Uh,
No, it is funny because I was just thinking about the title of this. I called it Showbiz Mums. And my friend was like, it sounds like you're the mum of Showbiz Kids. And I was like, oh, yeah. I was like, I need to rebrand because that's not at all what I am. I was like,
do,
oh,
you,
yeah. So we've gone, yeah, it's all gone too far now. But, we'll,
do you know what? I was there was one point where I was sort of thinking about doing something like this myself. And I was sort of like, I want to call it like the juggling act or something, like
oh,
the
yeah,
juggle or the daily, something like juggle, struggle, something like that. And, speak to all different people from the industry about
yeah.
how you make it work as a parent. I remember talking it through with a family member, and they were like, oh, it sounds a bit depressing, really. It's like, it's really hard, and you have to do this. And I remember thinking, oh, yes, like, yeah, it's really shit being in the industry because it's just bloody hard. But, yeah,
But do you
that's
know, though, but I have found the overriding thing from conversations that I've had with people so far, anyway, is positive. Like, there's
yeah.
been things where people are like, this is where support could be better in the industry when you're pregnant. But
Oh,
most of the time, generally, it's been positive. But yeah,
yeah,
I mean, make no mistake, there's obviously parts of it that are like, but that's a take away from the parenting side of it. The industry itself has like the highest highs and just the most terrible lows. That's just part
yeah,
of the industry, though, isn't it?
yeah.
It's what you get.
But I do think there's got to be a lot more stuff. I'm always, um, banging my saucepan lid about job sharing, the whole thing. And there was a report recently, wasn't there, in the stage that one of the girls on Mummy Banter had been involved with about, how difficult it is in this industry,
Oh,
about things like call times and
yeah.
schedules and stuff like that. I can honestly say it's not stuff isn't changing massively with that
Mm-mm,
as
mm-mm.
regards to that. It
Yeah,
will be that you're in tomorrow or, but my agent is the same, is a woman, same age as me, with boys practically the same age as mine.
mm,
And I'm so glad to finally be with, I'd never had a female agent before, and so she so gets it. She's
yeah,
running this agency as well. She's one of the directors of it, so it's like a family business, and she's like at the top of it. And but she's running a household. She's got these boys, and I'll phone and say, listen, I haven't had a call time, and we start a week on Monday, and I've got to get my ducks in a row because I need to plan what the childcare situation is going to be.
yeah,
The girls have a lot of after school things. And she's like, "Yeah, absolutely." And she will get on to stuff like that. But I think the whole it's taken into consideration because yes, yes, we are all in when we're in the rehearsal room and tech, and it is very you do have to completely throw yourself into it. But actually, we can't. I can when I'm in the room, and I always sort of compartmentalize stuff. And I was trying to do it with my eldest tonight,
yeah,
trying to make her not look at a bigger picture of the show. She's got one tiny bit to do that she's really nervous about. And I was trying to, this is what I do. And I think, right, I haven't got a clue what we're doing when we start tonight today at 10:30. I've got to do this morning with the kids. But I tell you what, I'm going to do that on a train.
yeah,
When I've done all this and everybody's gone and everyone's sorted and I know who's picking up, this is a while back, but I know who's doing the pickup and what's happening after school. Right, now I'm on the train, and that's your time then. That's my
hmm,
time to go. Right, headphones on, open the score, open the book, whatever, and
absolutely.
then think, and then sort of drill in because you can't just go, when you go home tonight, everyone, make sure you go over your harmonies. Have a word. I'm not gonna, I'm not gonna be doing that, am I?
Yeah,
But luckily, we are the people that end up being on top of everything
yeah,
and knowing what we're doing,
yeah.
because we have to be all day, every day. We are the table, Kimberly.
That's it. I feel like we've become professionals in compartmentalizing life. Like you
Hmm.
say, you
Yep.
can do the washing, do that, get them to school, get them here, and then
Hmm.
also be like, right now, focus, harmonies. That then
Yeah.
becomes the priority. And
Yeah.
it's just making all of that work. And we do.
It is. We do. it is doable. I'm not saying it's easy.
Yeah.
Absolutely not easy. And sometimes you just want to throw the towel in, mental health days
Mm.
and some days where you literally think I just can't come into work. And I remember there was this very specific day I was at Kinky Boots and Annabelle would have been 5, Claudia would have been about 18 months old too.
Oh, wow.
Stupid like that. I
Yeah.
mean, those are the days where I'm pulling Claudia off me at the front door, like
Oh,
peeling her off me.
yeah.
Um,
Oh,
and there was this one day, and Harry would have been away, obviously, because I was in a heap, and I just was like, basically, I couldn't go into work. I can't do it today. I cannot go into work today. It's just too much. Everything's too much. The kids, I've not slept. One's teething, one's, all those things. And I remember phoning the company manager and just crying on the phone, not actually being able to really verbalize what I wanted to say to her, but I was wanting to sign off. That's what I wanted to say to her. It's like,
yeah.
I wanted to say to her, I cannot come into work today.
Mm.
And actually, now I'll be able to go, I've had a really terrible night. I need to take a mental health day today, and I'm so glad those things are in place now.
Yeah.
But I remember at the time just going, she said, have you got a really bad migraine, Mel? I think she was trying to put it into my
Yeah.
mouth for me. I was like, yes. She went, I'll see you tomorrow. And the relief, because of course, we're pros and we don't go off lightly and I don't go off unless I can't walk or I can't sing
Yeah.
or I'm vomiting or I'm
Y-
at the toilet. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
If there's a bit of a niggle or something, or even something I can work round, I still go in and do it,
Hmm. Yeah.
which is very different to what is coming into the industry now.
Absolutely right.
Different conversation. It's a different podcast.
It is, isn't it?
Um, yeah, I'm so glad because and that was a very vivid day for me. I remember sitting on the floor by my bed, by the window, just going, nope, I can't go do Kinky Boots tonight. And
Mm-mm.
actually, that's all right though, isn't it? That is
Mm.
actually valid that I
Yeah.
cannot go in there tonight and pretend like everything's up because I'm not coping. Not full time, but just today. And it didn't happen very often, but just today, I'm not coping. And so going back to like the job sharing thing and everything, I just think I understand where it's difficult for producers and I understand where it's difficult for maybe people in leading roles and stuff as well, because
Yeah.
then it becomes two people playing the one role that's going to be reviewed if it's a new show. I kind of understand that, but I'm so thrilled to know that it happens, like at Les Mis with
Mm.
Larky and
Yeah.
the other girl that she splits that track with. It's just worked beautifully
Yeah.
for that. It's got to happen. And I think it will I hope that it will happen more. What show are you on, Kimberly?
So I'm doing Mamma Mia the Party, and I'm doing it
Party.
with, Marianne Benedict. So I do it with
Yeah.
her. Yeah. So she's doing the other half. So for us,
Oh,
it works really nicely.
amazing.
But because it's a 4-show weekend, it's two Saturday, two Sunday. I was like, there's no
Full on.
way that
No.
could really work. And my husband's got a 9 to 5. So for us, it definitely works. I think the job share conversation is definitely being had more. I think Lauren Hall's doing
Yeah.
all that work on it. But I think you're
Yes, she is.
absolutely right. I think the whole call times things and
Mhm.
rehearsals, there's
Mm.
not a lot of change. I don't think, and I don't know if we'll ever see, like, eventually we'll see it, but I think it's so hard because people can't predict what's going to happen on Thursday from Monday. But that's where you're like, I
I
try and
know.
get a bit of note. They try and give me a bit of notice, but and if mine were in school, maybe it'd be easier. But because they're not in nursery, or I'm just with them, it's
Yeah.
I'm just like, right, I need to fucking find someone. you know,
Yeah. And if
it's,
you have, if your family aren't right, if you're lucky to have your family still, then they're not round the corner,
yeah,
then you're just screwed.
yeah,
Um, and even now, I still have that guilt of going, I'm not going to make warm up because I need to get one of them somewhere and it's just not going to work with the trains travel. I will be there. I'll be there before the half, but I'm not going to be. And the guilt that I feel with that. And on my
mm,
last job, they were like, I think sometimes liability prevails. You're like, people know that you're not taking the mick. And
yeah,
I
yeah.
said, but you still have to like go sort of like cap in hand. I still feel like sort of saying, really sorry, I'm not gonna whereas sometimes there are people just trolling into warm up whatever the time you think, and I think, "Oh, I don't know why I give myself such a hard time about it."
Late with a coffee, and I've been like sweating.
Yeah, yes. Yeah, but again, that is a different podcast because that's a whole new thing. But I didn't want to ever feel the guilt about, like when I think about the early days, and there are these amazing women that, I'm so glad that I've been asked to do this podcast, and anytime I will always speak out. But, I only, and the mum, bit behind me, and yourself, but there were women before us. I learned from Lindsay Haitley, Sally Ann Triplett,
Yeah.
Siobhan McCarthy. When I was in the original cast of Mamma Mia, I remember I was 23, 24, and the great Siobhan McCarthy came to Sitzprobe, and she got kids with her. It was a Saturday, and they were little. They were 10 or 12 or something stupid, and she got with them. And I remember thinking, so you can have kids then and do this industry. It blew my mind. I was like,
Mm.
look, they've come to watch her. Oh my God. And then at the same time as I was doing Mamma Mia, my best mate was doing Cats at the New London. And I would walk across the heady days. I'd finish, walk across Covent Garden, meet Brenda from Cats, and we'd walk home to our flat in Waterloo.
Oh,
Oh, the days.
wow.
Simpler times, as we
Mm.
would say, simpler times. And I'd see Sally Ann Triplett coming out of stage door with Max, holding on to Max. He'd be about 5, 6 or something, fast asleep, carrying him out of stage door. And I'd be like, oh,
Yeah.
she has got a child. Right, okay, so you can do it. I remember thinking, you come into this industry, no holidays, you can never buy a house,
Mm.
you can't have children and everything. So those women I will always talk about if I'm being interviewed, because those
Absolutely.
are the women that paved the way that for me and showed me that I could do it.
Hmm.
And I know that I'm not sort of leading the way by any means, but I know a lot of people have in the past have come to me and asked me
Yeah.
about it, because I'm in my 50s now with teenagers, and, there's like, all these people come to you about for questions.
But it's so good to see, and it is genuinely inspiring. I think my one, when I was 20, I did Mamma Mia with Jackie Clune, and she had the
Oh,
triplets.
ridiculous.
I mean, looking at her, she had the triplets and she had one, and then I think she had step twins as well. So she was coming
Yeah,
in with her 6 kids, and I was like, "What the fuck?" But like, she was such an
incredible.
amazing mum, and still
Amazing.
playing Donna, and that I genuinely was really inspiring to see, because you're like, "Oh yeah, cool, she's doing it,"
Yeah, she's
and she's
doing it.
providing as well. Like they're not there all the time, but
Yeah.
everyone's got the juggle. They fit in with her life. They are still a part of, this huge fun family. And I remember her saying the
Yeah.
year that she finished Mamma Mia, that I think her eldest, she was like, "Oh, finally, I can be home with you guys." And I think her eldest was like, "Oh," she was like, what do you mean?" And she was like, "But we're special because you do Mamma Mia. It's part of why we're special." She was like, "I mean, yeah, fair enough." But
But
no, for sure, it's looking to those people.
yeah, it is. And those I didn't put Jackie in that bracket, but she absolutely is. But also Jackie was on the Mamma Mia international tour with those triplets as
Mm,
babies,
mm,
like when they were little. I mean,
mad.
Steph Parry
Yeah.
went out, had the baby, and then literally put some dungarees on and went and did Donna, and like travel the world. But also that is a thing as well. People say, "Oh, I've been offered a tour, but I'm gonna have a 1-year-old," and I think, listen, if you want to do the job and it will be like a career changing moment for you financially, sort of CV, credit, all that, when they're young, that's the best time to go and do it, because then when they sort of get into, if you can make it work or take a relative with you or your mom or your aunt or a cousin or something,
Yeah.
or if your husband works from home or something, and he's mobile, be able to come with you, because as soon as they get into school, then you just can't do it.
It's
And
game over.
I'm from Sheffield, and I've never worked at the Crucible at Sheffield
Ah.
ever, which is wild. And all these every Chris, the Christmas Eve fabulous productions. Paul Foster, going back to him again, directed some beautiful things. Had directed beautiful things there at Christmas. I'd be like, oh, I was like, I miss. It's kind of like I missed the boat there a little bit, because that would have been a dream job for me before the girls went to school, because
Yeah.
I could have just been at my mum and dad's,
Yeah.
go to work every day at the theatre that I so very much want to work at, and the kids be at home for a whole month. It's those kind of jobs, the work like that. When I was on tour, it just so happened that Harry then got made redundant from his career job, the oil and gas, in lockdown.
Oh, right.
So then coming out of lockdown, he took a year sabbatical, so he was just at home.
Okay.
So he's very much hands-on dad, like literally
Wow.
I go away and he's raises girls, and I mean, we do it together, but he's amazing when I'm not around. Um, and then when I was on tour, obviously he was working for Cardo, like drive. He was
Oh
doing
yeah.
like the lockdown job when everything went
Yeah.
back to normal. And so for me, it was going to bring more money in if I went and did this job. So again, we just sort of made it work. But now
Yeah.
he's got this job, which is great for working in town, because we just cross over
Cross out.
passing ships.
Yeah. Yeah. See you later. Yeah.
Um, Apart from when I was in Toronto, and it just was like, yeah, we can't leave them for 9 weeks in the morning. But uh, yeah, I found it. I made it work.
Yeah, you did.
Um, yeah,
No, it's brilliant.
it's not easy. It's
Not
not been
no.
easy, and you sort of think, oh, I can't look at sitters.co.uk again.
Yeah.
Um, but
But
they're
you do
now at an
lovely.
age where, like, my eldest was sort of like coming into town with her friend on the Lizzie line, meeting me in between shows. I was like,
Cool.
so mad, stuff that I've really, really wanted to happen, to have them around me at
Yeah.
work if they can be.
Yeah. No, I envy
Yeah,
that. I look forward to that. I'd love the idea of that, meeting them between shows. Right. So, also, do you have a career highlight? Is there a moment in I mean, it's hard, but is there a moment that you're like, oh, this one was peak?
yeah. I think Jamie was a big
Yeah.
thing for me, because
Oh,
it was the shift for
yeah.
me. I'd always covered in town anyway. I'd played some lovely roles on tour in it and in rep starting out. But in town, I was always covering. And also because I've been waiting to get into my casting bracket. Now I'm
Yes.
in, and now I'm in my casting bracket. I've been waiting to play a mum since I was 23, like,
Yeah.
and then now I am in that era. So I was at Kinky Boots playing Trish, which was a lovely little role. It was the first time I was understudying in town. I remember thinking, oh my God, I have to do anything else. I'd have to learn any other track. This is amazing. So I'd either been a swing or
Yeah.
an understudy. And then from there, I always have some sort of like little Britney breakdown before I leave the job, like I'll never work again, blah blah blah. Um, and then you think, oh, and then like 2 weeks later, something turns up you didn't think was going to happen. Like, oh right. But I remember being at that point thinking, well, I can't cover again. I'm not going to cover again because the rehearsals are too much, and with 2 kids, understudy rehearsals, especially, what it's like being at Mamma Mia. Those Dynamo understudy rehearsals go on
Yes.
for a long time.
Mm.
And um, I remember being at Jamie, and Come From Away was just about to happen, and
Oh,
it was all
yeah.
very exciting. Come From Away was coming over, and they wanted to see me for one of the standbys for like there's all those
Yeah.
beautiful roles.
Yeah.
And I remember so I was walking cover at Jamie at first. So I covered Margaret and Ray and Miss Hedge, which actually suited me fine. Claudia was starting primary school, so I was just in the dressing room.
Lovely. Yeah.
Yeah, and I got sent this 9-minute voice dialect workshop video to watch,
Right.
3 tracks to look at, all these songs, and I never rarely say no to auditions. I'm getting better at it as I get older.
Mm.
But I remember having to like go like literally on bended knee to tell my agents, like, I can't do this.
Mm.
I cannot learn all this. The audition is the week Claudia starts primary school. I will never get that time back.
Yeah.
And I was so like, and my agent was like, it's okay, it's fine. You sort of think,
Wow.
okay, I'm getting so much better at saying no and not giving 0 Fs anymore. But at that time, I was just, yeah, that's too much. Anyway, there I was unstudying. Becky McGuinness took over from Josie Walker. I took over so Becky went into Margaret. I was then you walking cover. Then Becky I think I put Dear Evan Hansen to thank, to be honest,
Yeah.
because Becky got Heidi in
Yeah.
Dear Evan Hansen.
Of course.
And I knew she was up for something, but I didn't know what it was because obviously it was very high profile. And yeah, and I had a phone call from my agent to say they wanted to take over. And I just couldn't believe it. That was it. That was it. I'm playing a leading role at my right age, at my right time, in a show that's set in my hometown,
Yeah.
of the director from my hometown who I've known for a lot. You know what I mean? It just
Yeah.
was, yeah.
All
And then
fell into
from that,
place.
and also thank you to Nika and to Lawrence and to all of them there. that then just put me on a different trajectory,
Mm.
you know, and so yeah, that was, and then going to Los Angeles with it. I mean, it's dreams.
Amazing.
Um, but yeah, Jamie will always have that. It will always have that special place for me. But also Mamma Mia as well, because I kind of feel like I grew up at Mamma Mia. I
Okay.
did. I sort of continued my training at Mamma Mia in a
Oh
way.
yes. Yeah,
I
yeah.
left dramas. I left LSMT after doing 1 year and being, you know, best singer. You know, the one that's most equipped as a triple threat, I guess.
Yeah.
And then we did pantos and summer seasons and stuff. And then when I got that, I was a swing. I'd never been a swing before in my life. I know what you're talking about. But I was 24, and you know that show. I was 24, but I was third cover Dynamo. So
Yeah.
not even then did I ever cover Sophie, Ali, or Lisa. Talk
Wow.
about casting bucket.
Yeah.
So all of a sudden, I'm in this brand new musical. I'm in a dressing room with three women who are 10 years older than me,
Yeah.
one who is one of my best friends to this day. So I kind of learned how to be a swing. I learned how to understudy. I learned how to watch. Yeah, so I did a lot more of my grounding, I think, there, and I
Yeah.
stayed there for again a long time on and off. But being in the original cast of that is also like, you know, the other highlight for me.
Yeah, amazing. But you are absolutely right. I love being able to see you having your kids too, and it didn't stop. In fact, that's where your career trajectory just took off.
And I don't know whether that's stubbornness on my part, like, I'm not gonna make this stop me because I know, but I think also I kind of knew that my casting bracket is coming.
Yeah,
Whereas, you know, I have got some really good friends of mine that may probably were wonderful dancers, and they were in ensemble tracks, and they might have covered demi-semi principal, you know, we used to
yeah,
call them demi-semi
yeah.
principal, you know, and then they then know themselves that, listen, I'm not going to be a leading. I'm not going to be in a leading role. I think probably this might be my last show, and then I'm going to set up my own school, or I'm going to teach,
Absolutely.
or
Yeah,
whatever. You know, I do think people don't just drop out of the industry because they have kids and they can't do it anymore.
yeah, yeah,
You
yeah,
know,
yeah, yeah.
I think it sort of. I was a little bit too. I don't know. I just knew that, and even now, you know, I was putting the washing out yesterday in the garden, looking up to the sky, going, "Send me the job that is going to change my life." You know, it's sort of like I really want that job that's gonna go, "Oh my god, we can extend the kitchen." Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
I just we're at a point in our lives now, we're just like, "I just need that one job that's just gonna be like, oh my god, and now I can have a bigger house," you know? And I still feel really passionate about that. It's
yeah,
like, I want the
yeah,
nice thing, but that comes from somebody going, "Yes, you're going to do this series, or you're going to be in this leading role, and we're going to pay you this amount." And that's another, like, knowing my worth now.
yeah.
And like, yeah, I've kind of, I've been very easy for people and companies and stuff. I've been a really good girl. I'm not saying that I'm going to now stop being gung ho about anything, but I just like, still feel really strongly about, yeah, come on then. There is that job out there that is going to really I know, like I said, Jamie did change the trajectory for me, but it doesn't mean that now I'm just going along. And I am lucky to work. I do work, and I've
Mm.
got a lovely new job coming up, but I still feel that something
Something bigger out there. Would you want to? Would you want to go into TV when you say about a series? You'd like,
too.
yeah,
I'd
okay,
love to, yeah. Like, I've done a little bit of it, um, and I'd love to do more. And a friend of mine, he said it's a Leslie Nichols syndrome, Mel. So Leslie Nichols was Mrs. Patmore in Downton, but
oh
she
yeah,
was a Rosie with us at Mamma Mia. And Leslie would have been maybe a little bit older than me when she got she was a jobbing actor like me,
yeah,
but when she got Mrs. Patmore in Downton, she was like in the mid-50s for sure. I hope I'm not talking out of turn here. And then the next minute she's in another series, in a movie. So you know, like, it's like that
yeah,
shift like that. And a very good friend of mine who's a musical director and not daft. Always used to be the one who go, "Mel, you hit 30, it's gonna happen. You hit 40, it's gonna happen." And we're like, "Crikey, I'm waiting, I'm waiting, I'm waiting." And then he said, "I'm telling you, it's the Leslie Nichols effect. There'll
yeah,
be something now." It's like Mrs. Patmore, it's like all of a sudden, douche. So it better
yeah.
hurry up because that kitchen is too small and it's doing my nothing.
I remember, what isn't it, Imelda Staunton? And she does it in decades. 20s were bad, 30s were dreadful, 40s were good, 50s were amazing, and then like 60s she's flying, and you're like, yeah, fine, yeah, I get it.
Bring it on.
Yeah,
Bring it on.
absolutely.
Right.
Oh, it's
And
coming.
I definitely think that's what's happening to me then.
Yeah. Well, it's you've gone from strength to strength, like it's only getting bigger and bigger. So yeah, I will stay tuned.
And I'm still hungry for it. And that's the thing. I'm not done yet.
Yeah.
I'm not like, although, you know, there are times where I just think, shall I be ahead of a musical theatre course? Should I go and do that? And I think, I can't make a spreadsheet. So no.
So no.
I can't do any admin. So I'm going to say no to that. Or somebody once offered me one, you know, school holidays, steady job, head of musical theatre course, locally to me. And I definitely thought about it for a minute. And then I was like, no, the admin of it and and this isn't against anybody who does that, of course, but I just know I couldn't do it. I haven't got it in me to be so efficient and to run anything like that. I literally am rock up, sing the stuff, put the wig on, do the business, you know.
Yeah.
But yeah, so I'm still very hungry for the industry.
Well, I love it. Well, watch this space. But thank you so much. I mean, what a great chat. It's good to get your perspective and your side of things. You know,
it's very nice to meet you as well.
Yeah.
You're only down the road from me, so not far from the O2 at all. No, thank you.
We'll see you. We'll see you at the O2
Take
maybe.
care.
All the best.
See
Thank
you
you so much. And there we have it, the sensational Melissa Jacques, everybody. Now, this is the final episode of season 1. I will be coming back later on in the year. I've actually got recordings lined up, but I'm about to go into a rehearsal process and I know it's going to be crazy. And I don't think when I decided I was going to do this, I was all gung-ho. I don't think I was quite aware of what went into recording and editing a podcast. And neither of mine are in school or anything, so I've been relying on nap times. And I want to know that what I'm putting out there is something I've done properly. But I can't wait to share more. We have some creatives, those who work in sound and casting, as well as more theatre mums, and those that did actually leave the industry and not come back, and why they found that more fulfilling for them and their families. And I wasn't really sure what I was trying to achieve when I first started this. It just felt like something I wanted to do, because every time I meet another mum in the industry, I'm like, tell me everything. How do you do it? What works for you? So I guess that's where it all came from. And I totally support all avenues that work best for each parent. And I'm just curious and I love to chat about it. But I also do want to do a quick shout out to the Olivier Award winners on Sunday, particularly those that are raising children, any mums and dads, and all those that are looking after kids. Not just the winners, actually, but the nominees and the performers and the crew. Pulling off a show like that is no easy feat, and it was incredible. So for the Oliviers and for the end of season 1, I'm going to go ahead and have a glass of champagne tonight. Treat myself. And you should too, because, you know, we don't need an excuse. So thank you so much to anyone that's listened. And, you know, I'm really chuffed with the response and I definitely want to continue. I just need a bit of time. Right. Well, I'll see you in season 2.